Hi and welcome to Cheeky Richo's Apricot and Coconut Tart. Okay, the first thing we're going to do is we've got our room temperature butter here with our brown sugar. We're just going to cream that. Once that's creamed, we scrape down the sides, add our egg, no need to beat it first. And then we're just going to mix that egg into that brown sugar and butter mixture, add our flour and then press it into our prepared pan. So far so good. Mix that all in until it's well combined. It'll take a few seconds. Scrape down the sides again. You can see it's nicely mixed in. That sugar's pretty well dissolved now. And we're going to add our self-raising flour. Now, if you haven't got self-raising flour, just use normal plain flour and add 1.5 teaspoons or 2 teaspoons of baking powder. Not baking soda, baking powder. And that's the same thing. So it's in with our sifted self-raising flour and mix it until it's just mixed in. Don't overmix this. It's not going to make it any lighter. It is going to make it tougher if you overmix it until it's just combined. Okay, I'm pretty happy with that. We just remove our beater now and our bowl, and we're going to just press it. No need to roll this out into our prepared pan. Okay, now our dough has come together now into a very soft, short ball, and we're just going to press it right out. I've left the tails of the baking paper hanging over two edges, and that's going to make it a lot easier to remove. We just pick it up like that because you won't be actually able to tip this out like a cake because it'll have a crumbly top on it. Just press this all out, up the sides as if it was a tart. Okay, now it's pressed right out now. We're going to cook it 180 degrees for about 15 minutes. Now I know what you're thinking, that is not going to cook this enough in 15 minutes, and you are perfectly right. But it is going to part cook it, and that's when we're going to continue with our recipe. So just pop it in just like that. 15 minutes later, we're going to load our jam in there, and in the meantime, we'll be mixing our coconut topping. Okay, we've got our caster sugar and our butter in a pan over a low heat because we don't want to burn the sugar before the butter is melted. We're just going to melt that, add our coconut and just sort of toast it nice and brown, add our egg and then spread it on top of our slice, which is busy in the oven at the moment. I'm just using an induction hot plate here at 400 watts of power. You can see how quickly that's melted. It's in with our coconut now, just desiccated coconut. And don't go off and leave this now because this will burn. In fact, I might have to turn it even lower than that. And we just want to get a little bit of colour on that. You could add some almonds at this stage. Slivered almonds would be nice with apricots, but I'm just going to keep this to quite a basic recipe. Use a sort of wide-based pan for this, even though it's not a large quantity. You want as much of the contents of the pan in contact with the base of the pan. That's where the heat is. Now this is starting to colour up very quickly. It's as low as I can have it. I might have to take it off actually. You can just see it's starting to colour up nicely there. A little bit of colour. Keep it moving. Don't let it stop, because if you let it stop, it's going to burn. You'll be able to smell this toasted coconut fragrance very shortly. Okay, now it's nicely coloured up now. You can see the little flecks of light brown coconut through there. We're just going to turn that heat off, and it's almost ready. Almost. We're going to allow it to cool now because it's going to be too hot. If you put your egg in there now, it's going to scramble. I've got no problem with coconut scrambled egg, but not on top of an apricot tart. Power off. Okay, our tart's got a nice bit of colour on it now. It's boiling hot. We're just going to spread our apricot jam onto the base of it. Now, if your apricot jam is really quite firm, you can soften it by warming it a little bit in the microwave and spread that all over the base. You can use any flavour jam you like. You just have to change the name. Now, you don't have to allow this to cool or anything. Spread it all over. Now, you could use a pastry in the bottom of this, but I happen to like this cakey, short, biscuity sort of base that I use. That's that. Move it to one side because it's really hot, and get our egg and just mix it into our coconut mixture, and we're just going to sprinkle that on the top. In with our egg. Don't need to whip it or anything. Mix it all around, and this is going to sort of provide the glue for the coconut. We'll hold it together. Once that's all mixed in, we just sprinkle it over the top and make sure it's quite rough on the surface. Don't smooth it really flat because you want the little hips and hollers to sort of toast. Okay, and just sprinkle it on the top. If that looks awkward, it's because it is. Otherwise my hand's in the way. Over we go. That's tons. Another 10 minutes or so until that's nice and brown at 180 degrees. Into the oven we go. Told you it was easy. Make sure all that jam's covered. Take it as close to the edges as you possibly can. And there you have it, Cheeky Richo's coconut apricot slice. This smells amazing. The whole house smells of toasted coconut. We're just going to allow it to completely cool. When it has, we're going to just lift these little pieces out here and it'll come away quite cleanly from the tray. Slice it into chunks and get stuck into it. I hope you enjoyed this little cooking demonstration. If you'd like to see more interesting recipes and ideas, just check out our Cheeky Richo channel. We've got a whole recipe on morning tea and biscuits and slices. Why not please subscribe? Apricot and coconut tart. This is very easy to do. It comes in 3 parts. The ingredients are in the recipe box below. We're going to take some of it on a picnic and give some to our neighbours. So once it's cooked, we just slice it all up. You can use any type of jam that you like. We're using apricot here. And this is what you should have. It's jammy, it's coconutty, it's got a nice short base on it. This is going to be so good in our picnic. Thanks for watching.